What is going on, guys? And tonight we are in the mix. Playing a local 1020 Omaha, 8 or better. Playing this game for a little bit, but I decided to record. Testing out a new microphone today, so we'll see how this one works. But let's see here. We have a very action-packed game tonight, so there's going to be a lot of 3 betting, 4 betting, 5 betting. It will be a fun one to do some commentary. Hopefully we get some good hands in. Ace King 3-9 here in the cutoff, even though it is rainbow, it still is definitely strong enough to open. You get 3-bet by the button. Now, honestly, if this hand was had a suited ace in it, so it'd be kind of close to, I think, 4-bet, but I think the rainbow version, I think it's fine to just call. And when we get let into on this flop, I think we just gotta fold our hand. There's not much we can realistically do. I mean, both these guys have a lot of their ranges are actually quite wide, but with no immediate flush draw, straight draw, and like backdoor second nut draw, I think it's kind of a rough spot. So just gonna let it go. But as always, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you guys are looking to open a Phenom account, there's a link below. Interesting that he folds turn. I'm not quite sure what that could be because now there's 2 cards out there. Queen 6-3 deuce is a fold. Yeah, if you guys are looking to open a Phenom account, there's a link below. Click on it, and that will help the channel out. Keeps us motivated, keep making content for you, and put it out there. Also, if you guys have any questions or comments, put them below. Email down below too if you want to contact me about anything. If you think I'm playing terrible, please let me know. Queen Jack 4-6 is probably a little bit loose in a 6-handed game. It's probably close, but it's too loose. 2-3-6-7 under the gun with a triple suit is fold. Probably it's fold unless double suited. I didn't realize Mel wasn't in the big blind last hand. I didn't see how that one went down. My guess is he probably raised under the gun. All right, 9-8-4-5 in the big blind is usually going to be a defend for 1-bet, but this game is going to get a little bit out of hand. So if this goes for more than 1-bet, this hand's a fold. And we are going to defend for 1. Flop a gutter, 4-5 low, middle pair. It's just an easy check call on this board. If we have flush draw, I think it'd be a little more interesting. Turn is the flush. Not much here. Let's go ahead and check call one more time. See here, we make 2 pair and a bad low, so now we just get to showdown with it. So we do not get the scoot. We do not get the scoot. Queen deuce 3, 10 from the hijack. Yeah, you're just gonna see a lot of hands that players should not be opening, but it's just gonna be one of those crazy days. So we can talk about kind of the combo hands, but again, you're just for more often, like from these positions, you're just looking for mostly high combos, low combos, but usually most of them have to have aces in them, unless they're specialty hands like rundowns, like 4 cards, 6 or under, with no ace, and then something like high hands, but most high hands in this situation usually need to have like aces, or an ace in it at least, I would say. But we can just see like on the turn there, the flush gets in there, and our opponent's still, betting 3rd pair on a flush board. And like it's not the worst bet in the world, but I think they're just tending to bet every single time. So, like our hand just never becomes a fold. Didn't exactly see how this one went down. Not quite sure how Mel ended up with the ace 10 7 8 there, but slightly wide. Jolly though is playing a lot of hands, so again, it's probably not the worst thing. Let's see if we can cut this one down here a little bit and evaluate said hand. I guess, you know what, here, we'll just play this one. Let's just get next hand, previous hand. I'll play this one, and then, yeah, Mel did 3-bet. Yeah, I don't mind his 3-bet. I don't think it's 3-bet at all. It's just one of those crazy games, and Jolly probably has something like, I don't know, 75% V-bet from there. It seems astronomical, but it's probably something along that line. This hand's actually seemed quite reasonable. All right, ace 3 7 8 here. And Jolly's raising a lot. I mean, sometimes we do some cold calling with this hand, but against Jolly, open, this just becomes easy. A 3-bet, 4-bet. It's probably just going to get 5-bet. I think we'll just put the cap in position here, and sometimes we get checked to, and then we can make a decision on the flop. This range is pretty wide too. Pretty good flop for our hand. Backdoor nut flush draw, top pair, ace 3, go ahead and raise. If he knocks anyone out by 3-betting, it's a total bonus as well. Not the credit we wanted to see, but these guys know that I'm just like putting a raise a fair bit here, so I think this is actually quite close to a re-raise again, but at this point I think just a call. River checks is interesting, but I'm definitely going to value bet ace 3 with an 8. I do get quartered, but man, I played it so bad because obviously Jolly ripped a jack, but like these are the hands you're just going to start seeing, the queen jack, 4-6 under the gun. But it wasn't going to make much of a difference there. It would have been obviously a little bit more beneficial had he checked, I raised, he check raised, but that's just kind of hoping there. Wow. But this is definitely an interesting dynamic now, because a lot of times when we're playing, oh, how do I say this? A lot of times when we're playing, you know, our standard mixed games, I think a lot of players for the most part are trying their hardest. Sometimes you just find games like this where players are just clicking the buttons as quick as you can, and you have to adjust your game accordingly. So this is a good example of a game where players just have so many random hands that we'll look it over, we'll evaluate it tonight, and see what adjustments we need to make. Probably fine by both players there, honestly. 3 3 4 6 here we're going to play. Even if drawn and quartered open here, Jolly 3-bets a very, 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 he has a very, very, very high 3-bet percentage. Like even like this hand itself, it actually can be considered just like a 3-bet against Jolly's open range. I'm going to go ahead and just call here though. And sure enough, flop quads. And we're just going to immediately go ahead and go for the check raise against him. Flop a 6-eye straight draw. Flop. We make second LO here, so obviously a really good spot here for us. We're going to scoop that one. He should probably fold the turn, honestly, when he gets counterfeit, because a lot of times I make a 6-F straight. Sometimes I make like ace 6-5 or something like that. So he's just kind of hoping to backdoor a live ace in that spot. And even when he made his hand on the river, which was aces up with no low, I mean, he still got scooped. So probably should just go ahead and fold turn with not much else. I mean, he's kind of like hoping I have like the random. I didn't even know there. Ace 2 3 7 again, like a hand that has like some flatting ability, but I think like so many players are just coming along, and the fact that Jolly's range is so wide here, that this just becomes an easy 3-bet. And then obviously we get a board that we can't even continue on for one, so I'm just gonna fold it. Again, this goes back to the discussion I had in one of my videos with respect to like the king. If you're just gonna get a 5-way pot every hand, like kings go up way in value because obviously like the times you scoop not only big pots, but a lot of this card removal happens. I did not see Jolly's hand. I want to go back and see it, but I think Moto played his hand fine. I think a lot of players also at this stage, because the pots get so big, just kind of bet their hands. Let's just go to the river. Jolly had, yeah, as we see, he has king 4/4 deuce. So obviously another hand that's just way too wide to be opening, but that's what you're just gonna see. I think an interesting video actually would be one in the future where kind of talk about like these middling boards. In 4 and 5 handed, games, there's not much you can really do. Like if you just miss the flop, I mean, bluffing seems just kind of catastrophic. 4-4-7-9 here in the big blind, we're gonna call and see flop. Obviously, this is just gonna be we're just gonna check fold this one. No real equity on this board against under the range, even though this range is pretty wide. King 10-4 deuce here. Against Jolly, I actually think I'm going to go ahead and call, just because he's so wide. Flop gut shot, backdoor second, nut low. Go ahead and peel once. Check again. Peel twice. And unfortunately, we get counterfeit, but we're just going to have to check fold. Interesting, they checks river. Still think I just have to fold my hand, but yeah. Wow. Wow, Jolly didn't put an extra bet in there with top set. It's kind of interesting. Ace King 3-6 here, definitely strong enough to basically go ahead and put a bunch of raises in. It definitely didn't see like Moto had two pair in that situation when he checked river, but I mean, I guess he theoretically could go be for check raise though with like King Queen or some lesser stuff. So we do 3-bet with the obviously the Ace King 3-6, flop nut low draw, Ace King high. Start with a check. We're gonna go ahead and call in position here. I'm gonna call it twice. And we do make that low. We're just gonna call river. What is it kind of surprises me that he checks river. Got like 10-4. Doesn't really matter. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and check back. I don't think I yeah, I mean his hand is 100% strong enough to bet river. I'm not quite sure what he's worried about too much in that situation, but usually on dynamic rivers, players will check, and what I mean by dynamic is oh, let's see here. It's kind of interesting because I guess the board realistically can't be too dynamic here. It's the most dynamic river, maybe a queen, and then he might check that hand, but I mean his hand for sure. So he has what I like to call a let's go back. Let's go back here. So he has what I like to call basically a 4-card hand, meaning I have to have a perfect 4-card hand to scoop this hand. And when you have these type of hands, like I have to have 10-7, ace-3, or jacks up with ace-3. And a lot of them I would have put a raise in somewhere else on the flop or the turn, like a 3-bet on the flop or raise turn. So when you have that type of like dynamic where you need to have a perfect 4-card hand, like you should almost always be betting. You should just be betting your hand. because it's just so hard to scoop you. Now there's certain times when, like someone might have put in a ton of action and you still have a 4 card hand. I mean, theoretically, yeah, you could be scooped, but and those are the times you probably slow down a little bit. But in general, when you have Mel's hand there, it should definitely be a bet on the river. Because I could just have like aces for high, and he would still scoop me. And by checking, he lets me check back. Not much going on here. Have some backdoors, but some of the backdoors I still lose half, and they're not like great backdoors with no pair. So pretty easy check fold, I think, with the king 10 3 7. Did make one of those backdoors and make 10s and 7s. Oh, that'd be scary. Oh man, lose to the 9988 rainbow on the Jack 2 6 rainbow flop. All right. All right, Queen Queen Deuce 7 here is so we talked about these hands a little bit the other day in the King King video, but I think Queen Queen Deuce 7 one suit out of position 6-handed I think is just a little bit too rough. Again, like Queen Queen Deuce 5, Queen Queen Deuce 3, Queen Queen Deuce 4, stuff like that. Probably play. Game's kind of say slowing down a little bit. I should some a little bit of recording earlier. I was in multiple games and one of my kids was being a little waking up, so had to be prepared to move. Moment's notice. King Jack Deuce. Deuce 4-8. Mills open's probably fine double suited. It's probably close because the structure, the format of the hand, the fact that he's got a Deuce 4-8 and nothing kind of in between to help with straight draws. So I'm hurting him a little bit, but probably fine in this game. Nice cribbage hand here. I think this is 12 points. Right in the middle. Or is it 10 points? Doot. Nope, it's only 10 points. But here, that's a good window card though for me. Yeah, just two hands that are just going to play big pot there. Not much to really say. All right, Queen Jack 5-9. Against this action here, I think this is going to be a fold. If this is like an 8, a 10, a king, an ace, we play this hand. But the fact that someone can also back raise me here, I think this is just easy give up. Well, drawn here should have nut flush like 100% of the time, it seems like. The way this is played out. If he doesn't, he just says, uh-oh. I guess it's probably okay. Against Jolly playing pretty crazy. He's king 8-6 here against Mel's open on the button. Easy 3-bet. Jolly's sitting out, so getting some trouble here. 6, 7, 10 flop. Not the greatest, not the best, not the worst. Can go ahead and check turn, even with aces up. And on the river, 3, 4, 8. This is kind of close. Like, I expect him to bet any 3-4 combo. Yes, we scoop him. I expect him to bet any 3-4 combo. I think like range on range, the 7, 6, 10 is kind of marginal both ways. Let's say, and Jolly's unfortunately gonna leave, so I guess this, I don't know if the game's gonna go or not. Might need raise to sit back in. 2, 4, 6, 7, so basically full card 7 under here. Flop 7s and deuces, 6 deuce draw. You could let in new drawn quarter. I do like this. I like leads like this on these type of boards. I think this is totally good. And then we get counterfeit on the river. And he can't just like fire river like with 10s and 9s, I think, because obviously like now there's a straight out here. So, he could have a hand like ace three with spades or something like that, but it's pretty much like it kind of far and few between. So I think we just have to give this one up now when we get counterfeit with our low. But if he's just betting like tens and nines with no low draw there, I think he's also asking to get uh just punished because I mean I'm raising probably 3-5 any sort of low with a 10 high straight draw. Um like I don't think tens and nines just gets to bet here without like having something else too. It's kind of the nature of high low is you can bet your high hands, but I mean, the lows get to raise at a very high frequency as well. Um, and they make kind of a two-way hand. So I mean, there's a chance like you just had a random ace deuce and like queen jack or something. But I think that hand three bets me pre-flop, so it's kind of doesn't make too much sense. King 9 8 6, we defend in the big, and we really get nothing on the flop, so this just becomes a check fold. Even though we do have a low draw, our low draw is basically worth something, but it's not worth much. 10 deuce 4 6. If we had 10 5 4 deuce here, I think we'd probably call with 3 weak cards in the small blind. Again, not a huge fan of just having that raise any button on. But players still do it. I don't mind playing fast. I don't care if you play fast. Just having that raise any button on just really kind of gives away your hand. We're also not playing like 1,000, 2,000 where, you know, every decision, like, your opponents just take your time. But see if we can get 30 minutes in. See if we can get something in today. Ace Jack 6 7 four-handed. I believe we're gonna open this one, even though it is rainbow and it's pretty speckled. But my guess is this is still showing a small profit. Kind of a mediocre flop, and against a flat call here, I think I'm going to start with a check. So we do have a two-way hand here. We still have a high. We still have kind of a bad low draw. The aces, but we're just going to slow down and not necessarily bet this one. Turn queen. Still check call. Obviously, we've got shots in the nuts too. The river, we make the worst low, and still we have an ace. Unfortunately, a flush low gets there, but we're still going to go ahead and check call river. And we get scooped by the 10-10 4-7. Probably not a hand that he should be playing, but I mean, whatever. It's probably not that bad of a call, to be honest. But it's probably still a mistake. Call here with king jack for 5. Start with a check. Go ahead, just immediate check raise, I think is probably best here. And you get the fold. And we don't want to just be check raising like our flush draws 5s and 10s. We want to be doing it, I think, with some pairs, but that one we just happen to have the 5. Deuce, deuce, three, queen 3. I'm gonna let this one. Start with a check call. Queen doesn't necessarily improve too much. I'm gonna go ahead and bet the queen on the river with the deuce 3 low draw. Could check here, I guess, too, but this is fine. And then on the river with the deuce 3, I think this is pretty much the immortal nuts. And he did make 7s and 8s. All right, bad jacks on the button. Folding this one. Again, if we were three-handed, I think the range changes a little bit, and but I would still fold this hand three-handed. Again, if you haven't seen the King video, I'll go ahead and back and go look that one up. Ace Queen 9 Jack. I think this is still a fold. The 9 really hurts it. If it was a 10, I would open. If it was double suited, I'd probably play it. King 4 5 7 double. And that we're definitely going to play here. Definitely see him like drawn quartered. His range is relatively I think his ranges are pretty good. So here we're still open ended, but we have like backdoor flush draw. I still think we just go ahead and check call flop. At some clip, I think we do some leading here. We can do some check raising, I think, as well. But just go ahead and call. And then once river hits, I think we're just going to go ahead and check call with the king. He had a big hand. He had 9s up, nut flush, ace 5. 10 jack. We're just going to fold. I don't think there's a way that we can play this hand. Mel raises button, we don't flat. And if it goes raise, I think this hand, Badoogie-wise, is probably just too rough. And even if we get folded to us, we're not opening this hand, so I think this one can just throw right in the muck. Deuce, deuce, 8, 9 on the button. Never. Oh, Phenom. Interesting. He decides to go for the lead fold. I mean, if Mel honestly had it, I'm not sure if he should raise in that situation, to be honest. But okay. Ace deuce 5 6 double. Obviously, a nice looking starting hand. Get 3-bet, which is something that we don't see too often. So let's go ahead and call. 3-bet flop, but we're just unblocking everything. So I think we're just gonna check this one. And I do think like Mel has probably some check raises here, just based on the fact that like he did 3-bet me and I don't have anything here. So obviously it's a pretty bad river for me. Oh, this is just always aces, isn't it? Probably should have just gone ahead and just snap raised the river, honestly. But I think I'm still going to go ahead and pay off. I do. Ace can do 7. I felt like his hand was just basically aces or a hand that kind of missed. Nine nine queen 10 is not a hand that I absolutely love, but if I can close the action and call here, yeah, not for 3-bets though. Again, because we can get the action opened up behind us as well. This is a 5-bet game. Ooh. Ooh. Got some flop some equity. It's definitely an interesting flop. Like if Mel has some flushes here, I think like checking the flop is actually okay. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I feel like that flop can get stolen pretty easily against so that's probably a really good bet, even if he did or didn't have it. because he just denied backdoor low equity, which a lot of these, probably both these players had in some case. Going back to that hand where I called him with a 6, I actually think Mel has some showdown value with ace king high, so I don't necessarily think he has to turn his hand into a bluff. 10-3-5-8 double, I think this is close, but I think we're still gonna muck it. I think if we were in a game where there was a lot of bad players, but there wasn't necessarily a ton of action, I think probably you can open this and get away with it. It flopped pretty good. The turn pretty good. This is about as raggedy as you're gonna see. So, not gonna defend this one. We defend a lot in the big blind, but that is one that we're not going to. I'm trying to even think what percentage-wise we probably defend. My guess is, if I had to guess off the top of my head, it's probably somewhere between 70 and 80%. It's 3-4. Yeah, queen deuce 3-4 is too loose. Again, probably if you're playing in a good game, like my guess is you could probably make that one up, but um, it's just definitely I think you just throw that one away. And this would definitely be a hand if we got raised to re-raise, we would go ahead. Or if we got raised, we would go ahead and probably put the 4-bet on. Flop relatively good. Turn's kind of an interesting one. And we're not really blocking too much here, so I think go ahead and like checking is okay. We don't even have backdoor draw really either. And obviously with aces up, we just go ahead and call river. And we do run into the queen jack 9-7. Again, I mean, like this hand is just, I mean, this hand probably like one of the worst hands you can call with in that situation. But you know, you got away with it, so. King 10-3-4 double, I think is again really close, but again, just like given all the information that I've had so far, I think I'm just gonna go ahead and start with a bet, or sorry, start with in this one. And King 9-2-6 will defend in the big, even with someone coming along. This is one of those awkward situations where like you defend and then the small blind leads, and I think we just got to give it up because traditionally, like when it goes raise, call, call on an ace high board, the button definitely has the I would say the stronger range. So usually you're going to go ahead and check to the button. So when you see some leads like that, not much you can realistically do. Ace deuce nine six, small blind, easy 3-bet in a 4-handed game. Don't really flop much here, but I think we're still going to start with the lead with the 2 face cards. Turn, we get a really bad turn card here, but I'm gonna go ahead and check this one now. And we're gonna, with a pair and an ace extra, I think we're gonna fancy one more. Oh man, another ace. Okay, and we do get scooped. So luckily we didn't have to face a bet on the river. Pretty looking one here. Ace ace deuce eight. And another brute flop, plus we have the nut blocker, but there's not much we can realistically do. This is just one where your reverse implied are just going to be realistically pretty bad. I don't have any backdoor either, so I'm just going to give this one up. This is, again, I think this is somewhat of a, like, probably a tight fold, but we did just see, like, what our opponent here is cold calling with in the small blind. And I think, like, I probably should have called, honestly, the more I think about it. Kind of talked myself out of it, but I think I probably should have just peeled one there. Check, check, 3-7, defend. And we get a board where we're drawing a live 3. Looks like this is just going to be a check give up. Again, your reverse implied with these type of hands are not necessarily that great. 3-handed for sure, this is just a check give up. Not. I didn't see what Neil had. I'm definitely going to go back and see what he flat called with in the small blind. He's 10-5-7. Go ahead and 3-bet. And we do flop spades with ace-5. And we turn 10 high flush and wheel, so we're going to bet again, and we're just going to bet down. Obviously, we have a really strong hand. The 3 is actually a really good turn card for us because we it's less likely our opponent has spades now. And I actually think Moto plays this again. I think Moto plays his hand probably fine. I mean, the only thing is like on the river, can he beat anything realistically? Like maybe ace-6 and that's it. But it's a tough one. Didn't want to see Neil's hand, so I'm gonna go back here for 1 second. Next team. Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. And he's check 9-5. Again, like, you know, in 4-handed games, I think it's probably just better for him to go ahead and 3-bet if he's going to play his hand, but I can see the reasoning for calling, I think. All right, ace king queen 6. Cut off. See if we can get an extra round or two in here. We're approaching 40. Try to keep him about under 50. And if check 2 on this board, I believe I'm going to bet. Top pair, no immediate gut shot, like kind of a mediocre backdoor. And then when drawn bets into us, I feel like a lot of people I see here actually go ahead and raise. And I think that's a mistake. Like with this hand, I think it's definitely a mistake. If you're gonna do it, you want a hand that I think has a little bit more equity. Obviously, when we turn top 2, I don't think folding ever mean, Jack 10 is, I think, a fair portion of his range, too. And there's no flush draws out there, so it's less thing we have to be concerned about. And we bets river. Obviously, I don't like it, but I'm still going to pay off the top two. Wow. He has the king 10 3-4, so he makes it straight. But never folding top two there. I mean, you know, the problem with his hand is a lot of times he's just going to run out. Like, if the board runs out like 6-7 there, he gets scooped by ace something. He's also should be getting called pretty light, so I mean, honestly, I don't like that bet with king 10 3-4. So again, we defend big blind. An interesting one here. I think we just turn our hand into a bluff with the 10 and spade draw. And I think we're gonna go ahead and bet river his bluff and get called by ace king. I don't mind the way he played his hand there. But I did, have the 10 blocker and I had the spade blocker, so I guess I had to go for it once. Queen 3 5 6 against Ray's range, and Ray's was playing in this game earlier, and again he's pretty say optimistic, so I think this is a hand that I'm going to 3-bet against him. If you're going to do this, you definitely want the combination to be like double suited, though. Four bet, call. Some monotone boards are a bit brutal, but again, we're not folding for one bet. There's a lot of money in the pot. Still think we call one more, and hopefully we get some of it on that river. We do get some of that. Did flop nut draw anyways. But with the straight draw in the pair, even when we unblock the diamonds when it gets 4-bet, I still think we have to at least see most likely a run out. If the turn pairs the board and it's not my card, it's probably a little bit closer, because now I can't make 2-pair and win, like I can't necessarily catch a queen and win. But yeah, I think the price is probably right, given the pot size. Excuse me. Weird. Must have some sort of connection issues. Obviously, against the limp call, this board is really strong, so he could probably just bet here 100%. Omaha's kind of an interesting game with respect to like boards, I would say. Like, in this type of board texture, I would say if you're, under the gun and you get called in the big blind like 3-4-7, you probably bet. I don't think we probably bet 100% in any situation, but we probably bet close to 100%. Or you could effectively just turn your strategy into 100% and simplify the game. But definitely there against a limp. That previous hand when it goes limp. raise, call. Basically like a 3-low card board. You probably could just bet they're 100% and win a ton, especially on a straight board, because now like if he's limping with hands that um like might have a pair with some overcards and he decides to peel, which I'm not saying right, but I think like that's the mindset a lot of times. You could be almost drawing realistically to like run a runner to get half, which is never a really good situation to be in 08 or in any game in general. But I think what we'll do here is we'll play one more round. Cut it off right around 50 minutes, I think. Ace, king, queen, 9. Definitely a hand that we're going to defend. I wonder if some of these guys are playing on mobile. I wonder if that's the issue. And call. Top pair, no, blocker. And this is probably a board that he gets to bet a lot. Position. Turn aces and kings. Not going to do too much here, I would say. Actually, you know what? This is kind of an interesting one. I think I'm actually going to lead because like a lot of times here I have like deuce 4, 4, 5, something like that. And if I can get my opponent to fold something that has some equity, I think that's great. But I'm not going to 3-bet. I'm not going to go ahead and like check raise river. I have no low. So, I mean, if he's got a set, I'm scooped. If he's got ace king with a low, with live low, I'm getting quartered. He was technically free rolling me. I don't like his bet on the river though. I think his bet on the river is actually quite bad. I think his raise on the turn to try to get it heads up is fine because he's got a gut shot and yeah, like a lot of times he can get counterfeit and sometimes still get a quarter or some piece of the pot. But the river bet, I don't think he's ever scooping. So if you're never scooping in that situation and like, I mean, I don't think I'm just leading the turn with 5, 7, 3, something like that. So I don't like his river bet at all. As always, if you guys like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you guys want to get in contact with me, my email's down below. If you're looking to open a Phenom account, please use the link. That helps me and helps the channel out. Again, I still have the standing offer. If you record up to 1 hour in Phenom, I'll review it with or without you, and I'll post it to YouTube with my commentary. Again, I thoroughly enjoy making these videos for you guys, so please keep sending that stuff my way. Jack, Jack, Queen 6. Again, we discuss these high hands. If you're gonna default, if you like open these hands without the ace in them, definitely want to be double suited, but you also want some connectiveness, like Queen, Queen, Jack 6, even though it's an Omaha high hand. It's not a you're just not going to realize. Like even on this board here, we have a Jack high flush. We don't have the nuts, and plus there's a low out there. So this is kind of a good board of like the trouble that you can get kind of in this hand with. I think this is the last one. And again, another good crypt chan. So is this the can't remember how much. Until then, thank you guys for watching. Good luck at the tables. I will talk to you soon. Bye bye.